Hi everyone, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. Today we are going to continue the next session of matter. See, in previous session we have done with physical classification of matter, right? Solids, liquids, so interconversions, how the solid is converting into liquid, how liquid is converting into solid. So interconversions we have done. Today we are going to start our class with chemical classification of matter. In physical classifications, total 5 states of matter, and again how the interconversion of that states of matter is taking place. Everything we have learned. Today we are going to learn about the chemical classification of matter. See here, already here we have some flowchart about the chemical classification of matter. Let us see here this chemical classification of matter. Again this matter, the first classification is pure substances and as the mixtures. So see here, total two classifications. Again matter, this classification is chemical classification, not a physical classification. So chemical classification of matter is, one is pure substances, next one is mixtures. Again pure substances are classified into two types. First one is called elements, second one is compounds. Again mixture is classified into two types, that is homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Okay, let's start our class with the deep discussion about this chemical classification of matter. Okay guys, let's start. See, chemical classification of matter. When we talk about the matter, usually we talk about a substance, right? Yeah, about the substance which possesses distinct properties and has a definite composition. See, distinct properties and has a definite composition. Okay, let us see how the distinct properties and their composition is varying. Suppose see here, sugar, it is also a substance, and table salt is another type of substance. Water, gasoline, these are the different types of the substances. Okay, what about this sugar? See, to look like sugar, it is as a crystals, square type crystals like. Whereas come to the table salt, it is also a crystalline structure, but it has a smooth crystalline, not like as a sugar. Whereas come to the water, its texture is different, and gasoline, its texture is completely different. So what is the different composition? What is the definite composition and distinct properties? Let us see. All substances do not have the same composition, but it can be identified by their unique properties. They'll have some unique properties, but they'll have a different composition. Let us see what are their unique properties. Matter is classified into two broad categories, namely pure substances and mixtures. What are those? Pure substances and mixture. What is meant by pure substance and what is meant by mixture? Let us see here. Pure substances are further divided into two categories. First of all, matter is completely classified chemically into two categories. First one is pure substances and second one is mixtures. Again, this first classification of matter, chemically pure substances, again further divided into two categories as elements and compounds. Okay, similarly mixtures also classified into two types. First one is called homogeneous mixtures and a second one is called heterogeneous mixture. So total two types of classification, pure substances and mixtures. Again pure substances divided into two types, one is called element, another one is called compounds. Again mixtures are classified into two types, one is called homogeneous mixture and another one is called heterogeneous mixtures. Okay, let us see in detail about the pure substances. This is the flow chart. About this only we have discussed at the starting. Okay, now come to the pure substances. What is meant by a pure substance? A pure chemical substance is any matter that has a fixed chemical composition and characteristic properties. pure substances of any matter that will have fixed chemical composition. Chemical composition is nothing but its structure like we can take, and it will have some unique properties. Example, see here, oxygen is a gas like we know. It is a oxygen itself, oxygen gas. Oxygen gas means in that oxygen gas only oxygen molecules will be present, oxygen atoms will be present, no other atoms will not be present in that, no other atoms will be present in the oxygen gas. This oxygen gas is a colorless and odorless. See, this oxygen is colorless and odorless. That's why even it is present in the atmosphere also, we are not able to see that. Oxygen is one of the gas which is present in the atmosphere. In our atmosphere, if oxygen is a odor, if it has a odor, that odor will feel, we can sense that. If it is a colorful substance, we can sense that. But oxygen is a colorless and odorless gas. These are their characteristic properties. And the substance containing particles of only one kind are pure substances. See, oxygen gas I am taking in one container or in one cylinder. I have taken oxygen gas. In that cylinder, only oxygen molecules or oxygen atoms will be present. Only one kind of atoms or particles will be present. Such substances are said to be pure substances. Not only oxygen, you can take even hydrogen. I'll take a hydrogen containing cylinder. In that, only hydrogen molecules will be present, or particles or atoms will be present. Only hydrogen, no other atoms. Such substances are said to be pure substances. See, example, iron. If you are taking an iron rod, in that purely iron only will be present. Silver articles you are taking, not a blended one. Pure silver articles if you take, in that only silver atoms only will be present. If you take an iron bar, only iron atoms will be present. So we can say it is a pure substance. If you take oxygen gas or oxygen cylinder, only oxygen molecules will be present. If you take a carbon dioxide, in that carbon dioxide particles will be present. Again you can think CO2, carbon and oxygen combinedly called carbon dioxide. Sodium chloride, if you take NaCl, sodium chloride atoms will be present. Purely sodium chloride. If you take a salt, sodium chloride, these atoms only will be present. We can say those are called pure substances like. Again, these pure substances are further classified into two categories. First one is called elements and second one is called compounds. Let us see what is meant by element. Here they given some compounds about the pure substances. Example, sodium is there. Sodium atom it is. Sodium chloride, only sodium and chlorine will be present. It is a sodium chloride. If sodium chloride is a pure substance itself. Oxygen, only O2 molecules. Carbon dioxide, CO2. Though the pure substance can be either an element or a compound. First of all, elements are the building blocks of our nature. Elements. So he is introducing the elements term in pure substances. These elements are the building blocks, because see here oxygen we said. Oxygen means how many oxygen elements are present here? Two oxygen. Sodium is one element, chlorine is another element. Carbon dioxide, if you take one carbon and two oxygen atoms or elements are present. Let us see what is meant by an element. See here, elements. An element is a substance that is either discovered in the nature or synthesized in the laboratory in pure form that cannot be separated into simpler substances by chemical methods. That is called an element. Let us see, an element is a substance. That substance we can take from the nature, means we can discover that in the nature it has occurred naturally occurring substance or synthesized in the laboratory. Anything, carbon dioxide is there, any new element, that one we can synthesize in the laboratory. Synthesized one can be our nature in also, carbon dioxide is present, that one also. Anything that should be a pure form. And again, that substance we cannot be separated into simpler substances by any chemical methods. Such substances are said to be elements. In order to call it as an element, its properties must be unique. It should have a two same properties. No two elements are alike. See here, carbon dioxide I am taking, CO, carbon monoxide I am taking. Carbon and oxygen, both are carbon dioxide. It is one molecule. Carbon monoxide is there. It is also carbon and oxygen containing, but carbon monoxide is poisonous gas. But carbon dioxide is not a poisonous gas, means their properties are different. Even carbon and oxygen is present in both, but their properties are different, and no two elements are alike. Their properties will not be same. Their color, their structure, something will be different. They cannot be alike. Those are said to be elements. See here, elements carry the names and symbols. Example, see hydrogen. Hydrogen is an element. It has a symbol, it has a name. See, hydrogen itself, it is an element. It has some unique properties and it has a particular symbol and it has a particular shape. Whereas come to the carbon, carbon itself, it has some symbol and it has a name, and carbon itself, it has some unique properties. And properties of hydrogen, properties of carbon cannot be same. Hydrogen is different, carbon is different. Both are elements only, but their properties are different. Got it? Oxygen. Oxygen is also completely different when compared with hydrogen and carbon. Nitrogen is different from their symbol. It is different. Its name is different. Its properties are different. Even sulfur, it is completely different. Hydrogen is diatomic. Whereas come to the nitrogen can form triatomic. Whereas come to the sulfur, it is octatomic. Oxygen, it is diatomic. In any particular point, if you consider their properties and they are different, and again we cannot be divided them. If oxygen molecule is there, we cannot divide that oxygen element. We cannot separate by any chemical method. Means oxygen element means oxygen, that's it. Again, this element we cannot be subdivided. Okay, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon itself, it is an element. It has a unique properties. See, next classification of elements. Again, elements can be classified into different types. See, if you consider total, we have a 118 elements as of now today. 118 elements. Out of these, 92 elements are naturally occurring in the atmosphere, naturally occurring in the universe. Whereas come to the remaining elements are man-made. Man-made means we synthesized those in the laboratory. Okay. So total these many elements are existing. Some are man-made, some are naturally occurring. Out of these 118 elements, they based on their characteristic properties, based on their general characteristics, those are classified into again into a four different groups. Like, see, first one is called metals, non-metals, metalloids and inert gases. This is the classification of elements only. Again, in the elements, based on their unique properties, all the 118 elements are classified into, are broadly divided into four categories. First one is metals, non-metals, metalloids and inert gases. Let us see what is meant by metal here. See, metals. Yes, exactly. Now we are going to learn about these metals. What is meant by a metal? See, metallic elements in general exhibit the following characteristics. See, on which elements we are calling metals? The elements which has these properties, these six properties, or these six characteristics, those are said to be metals. Let us see what are those. All metals are solids at room temperature. Generally, what are the characteristics of metals? Metals are solids. They are solids at room temperature, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Means they can react to the heat, they'll react to some electricity. If we pass electricity to them, they'll react towards that electricity. And metals are malleable, ductile, sonorous, and luster. See here, what is meant by malleable and ductile? These are some unique properties. Malleable means we can draw into thin sheets, like we can make into a thin wires, like drawing into the sheets and making into thin wires. Those properties are said to be malleable and ductile. Suppose gold is there. Gold is a metal. This gold ornaments we are making very thin pieces of ornaments also we are making. To do how we are making that gold, we can mold however the shape we want. Understand? That's why we are making gold ornaments into whatever the model, whatever the design we require, because we can beat them into the sheets and we can make them into small wires, thin wires, like, and whatever the shape we required, we can get that shape through these. So metals are malleable, ductile. Sonorous means they'll make sound. If you want to listen that sound in your house, we have so many steel is also a metal. You go 4 5 spoons, you throw on the floor, it makes sound, it makes the noise, that is called sonorous. And have luster. Luster means they'll have shining capacity. Lustrous means shining. If you see, silver is also a metal. Silver shines, isn't it? Platinum shines, gold shines. They'll have a shining properties. See, generally metals are very strong. They have high tensile strength. Means easily we cannot cut that. Thus they'll have a very high tensile strength. Most of the metals are hard in nature, they are not soft, they are very hard, and they'll have high densities, their density is also high. So these are the general characteristics of the metals. Once again I'll repeat the general characteristics of the metallic elements. See, they are solids at room temperature and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. They are malleable, ductile, sonorous, and they have a lustrous nature, and they are very strong. High tensile strength means we cannot cut them very easily. We have to apply more temperature and then only we can cut them. So they have high tensile strength. They are very hard. We cannot cut the metals with the normal chalk, like they are not smooth. They are very hard, and they'll have a high densities. Their density is also high. These are the general metallic properties of the, or general characteristics of the metallic elements. But listen students, here also we have some exemptions. Some of the molecules they are metals, but they'll have some properties. See here, what I said as the first point, most of the metals are solids I said. But see here, mercury. Mercury is a metal only, but mercury is liquid at room temperature. Most of the metals are solids, but it is a exceptional case. Mercury is liquid metal at normal or room temperature. And also see gallium, it becomes liquid at 30 above 30 degrees Celsius temperature. Gallium is also a metal. Actually it should be like a solid, but it melts into the liquid at above 30 degrees Celsius temperature. These are the exceptional cases. And see, zinc is also a metal, but what I said, metallic properties malleable and ductile, like, but zinc is a metal, but it is not malleable and it is not a ductile. We cannot draw into sheets, we cannot make thin wires through zinc metal at room temperature. It is the exceptional case. And also see, some metals like sodium and potassium are soft metals. Even they can be cut with knife. Just before, one of the property we have studied that metals are hard in nature, isn't it? But see, this sodium and potassium, they are the soft metals. The sodium we can cut with knife also. It is like as a paneer. Paneer, how we can cut that, like that, it will be sodium and potassium. So these are the exemptions from their general metallic properties. See examples for metals. See, these are the general examples of metals. This is the example for brass. It is a bronze. See, brass, bronze, these are the blended one. Okay, metal sludge, it is a steel, and it is copper, it is cast iron means iron, and it is aluminum. All these are the metals. How they are looking like? They are very hard. We cannot cut into the sheet. We cannot cut them easily. We have to apply more temperature. We have to melt them, and then only we can bring them into the required shape. They are very hard. They are lustrous. They make sound. They are malleable, ductile. All these are the metallic properties, and these are the some examples for metals, guys. Okay, let us see the next one. See, now we studied about metals. Now come about the non-metals. Non-metals in general exhibit the following characteristic properties. We studied the metals characteristic properties, right? Like that only we are studying the non-metals properties also. Most non-metals are soft solids or gases. See, non-metals are soft solids or gases. Non-metals have a dull surface. They are not shiny. They are not luster. They do not shine. Non-metals are brittle. Brittle means easily breakable. We can cut them into pieces easily. No, they are not hard. They are brittle in nature. And non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. We said metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, but non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. Non-metals are non-ductile, non-malleable, non-sonorous. They are completely opposite to the metallic properties. Okay, exemptions. Like metals, how we studied some exemptions, here we are studying the exemptions about the non-metals also. See, graphite is a non-metal, but it is a luster, means it gives the shining, and it is a good conductor of heat and electricity. Generally what we said, non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity and non-lustrous, but graphite is a non-metal, but it have a lustrous nature, and it is a good conductor of heat and electricity. Like that only bromine. Bromine is a non-metal. What we said, all the non-metals are solids, soft solids are gases we said, but bromine is a non-metal, but it is a liquid. So these are the exemptions of non-metals. So let us see some examples for non-metals here. It is a sulfur, it is red phosphorus, it is a non-metal. Carbon, it is also a non-metal. These are the examples for some non-metals. You can observe their colors also. Carbon is black in color, phosphorus it is red in color, sulfur it is yellow, light yellow, like we can consider. See, next one is metalloids. What is meant by a metalloid? Metalloids exhibit the properties that lie in between the metals and non-metals. Metalloids is nothing but they show the properties of both metals and non-metal properties. See, Te means tellurium. Tellurium is example for a metalloid. Sb means stibbium. Stibbium is a metalloid. PeO means polonium. All these are the elements, ma. These are elements. Silicon, germanium, and it is boron. It is silicon. See, these are acts as a metals, and they'll be the non-metals. Like means they'll show the both the properties. That's why these are said to be metalloids, not a metal, not a non-metal. These are said to be metalloids. Like these are some of the examples for metalloids. The next classification of elements is inert gases. See, total 4 classification. First one is metals completed. Second one is non-metals also completed. And third one is metalloids also completed. And fourth one is inert gases. Now we are studying. And fourth one is inert gases classification. The gaseous elements which do not combine with other elements and even themselves and exist as individual atoms are called inert gases. See, these inert itself it is called, it is stable. Inert means stable. Stable means they will not react with any other. If you keep two neon atoms side by side, this neon itself it will be, this neon itself it will be. They both will not combine. This neon you mix with hydrogen, this will not combine with hydrogen. Itself it will be separate. They will not react. They will exist as a individual atoms like. Those are called inert gases. These inert gases are also known as noble gases. Noble gases means inert gases, and these are also called as aerogens, rare gases and zero group elements. All these are the another names for the inert gases. Here he given some examples for the inert gases. See, helium. These are called 8th group elements or zero group elements. Now, while studying about the periodic classification, we let me know about these inert gases detail. See, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon. These are the some examples for inert gases. So, in the elements, we are studying about pure substances. Again, pure substances classification is two types. One is elements, second one is mixtures. Again, in elements, the classification is four types, right? Elements, pure substances, sorry, pure substances in elements and compounds, right? Again, elements classification is this. We will study about the compounds again. So, this classification we have completed. So, today we have discussed about the chemical classification of matter, that is pure substances and mixture. Again, pure substances classified into the elements and compounds. In that, about elements we have studied today. We learn about that elements, metals, non-metals, metalloids and inert gases, students. Okay, the further topic will continue in our next lecture. Okay, thank you for watching our video. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our website also, AIMS Today. Okay, for latest updates and recorded videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you so much.